Welcome into our 44th episode here of the Slobberknocker Sports Podcast. Before I get into the episode, I want to make sure to let you guys know we're giving away a jersey this week. If you comment below, you must be subscribed and you must comment. I will give away a free jersey of your choosing. NFL, NBA, college, any jersey you want, but you have to comment below. You have to like this video, and you must be subscribed. Please do it. We need comments. It helps us massively. Also, understand this. I can guarantee you, if we do not get over 10 comments on this episode, China's going to win the gold medal battle with the United States. You cannot let China win, all right? So please comment, like, subscribe. We want to give away jerseys. When we get more money in sponsors, we're going to be giving away big sums of money. Big sums. So make sure to like and subscribe and enjoy this episode. Based on your rant last week.
I had a rant last week?
Yeah, you talked about how the Olympics should be juiced, and I had the shortcut. I need to post it, but I actually stumbled upon this by accident. But did you know that there are steroid games? That's a thing.
No, I like it, though.
James Magnussen becomes first high-profile Australian Olympian to volunteer for the, quote, steroid games after demanding $1.5 million to compete. And he used your quote, juice to the gills. And apparently they're saying that they're going to have, it's going to be called the enhanced games. And there's going to be like millions of dollars at stake to get people. That's the only way they'll do it. Like there's got to be millions of dollars at stake. Otherwise, they're not going to juice their bodies and deal with the repercussions. Well,
here's the whole thing. You probably won't win going in juice, but there could be some not juice, but there are probably so many people that could somewhat compete not juicing to the gills, right? I mean, in theory, it would be really tough.
In the juiced games?
Because you saw... So in the juice games, did you have to take a drug test and prove that you actually are juicing?
It's a good question. I would think that you should have to.
Yeah. You have
right?
To,
you can't...
You have to have this much of steroids in your body. Otherwise, you're not allowed to compete.
I think that's fair. Otherwise, you have like Michael Phelps going and win anyway.
Yeah, Michael Phelps could just come straight out of retirement.
That's right.
Or that kid for, Marchand from
France. He's a beast, dude. What did he won? Like 4 golds? Yeah, he's a beast. There was, we'll talk some Olympics, but there was a lot of good races the last couple days. But yeah, I wanted to bring that up because I thought that was shocking that that's actually a thing. We've got...
Yeah, I had never heard about that.
We have 6 days left of the Olympics. I haven't looked today, but going into today, we were by far in first place in the medal count, but we had actually evened it up with China, 19 apiece in the gold medal. So
now China somehow has 21 golds and we have 19. There must have been 2. There was either a badminton event or there was table tennis being played.
Oh, I think table tennis women was this morning.
Yeah.
So wait, we're down 2?
I saw the final. It was on the other day.
The women's?
Yeah. But it may be like, it might be double. They probably do double table tennis.
They do.
Doubles. Yeah. So that's what it is. And China just runs that and badminton. So.
But we still have a lot of stuff left that we can win.
Yeah, like they're not going to win any track and field events.
Right.
Like if they win one, they might win one obscure, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So the best thing going into that, speaking of the Olympics, best thing I saw this week was the 100-meter girls and 100-meter boys. They're just
Who won the girl? Oh, that's right.
The girl that
San
runs
Lucia.
at UT. And yeah, it was awesome just because, it would have been nice to have an American. Obviously, I root for the Americans and everything. But even before the race, I was telling my brother, I was like, it'd be pretty cool if this girl from St. Lucia won. She's in the middle. She's supposed to win. They've never won a medal in anything, let alone a gold medal.
That's
and
crazy.
She blew everybody away. And they showed the camera of downtown and the capital of St. Lucia, and they were going nuts. And they were like, and one of the guys who I guess was a past runner for Jamaica or something was like, there's going to be a parade. It's not like the island's that big, but an island, a full island long parade for her when she gets back to town. But apparently she won the 60, the 100, and the 200 at Texas. She's the NCAA champion. I wonder if she's running she may be going 200 for the double. Like the American, it was Lyles that won.
I want to go to him in a second. What do you think the population of St. Lucia is?
80,000 people.
More than that, 180,000.
Okay.
But
I was
still,
going to guess 100. I went low. But
for a country, that's
it's tiny.
The 190th most populated country in the world.
Yep.
Population density of 765 people per square mile. Okay, yeah, here, but this leads me into perfectly this to me is the kind of the dumbass of the week, and I haven't done this in a while, but it definitely goes to Noah Lyles, the guy who won the 100. Did you watch how he acted after he won? So if you didn't watch the race, Noah Lyles was not the favorite. He did not win his initial heat in the semifinal, or I think they had two. I think the initial heat and the semifinal. He didn't win either. And then when he comes out, he goes nuts when they do the introductions like he's LeBron James. I mean, even the commentators are like, even Usain Bolt didn't do that.
He's the best 200-meter runner, correct?
Yeah, he's a better 200-meter runner. And so he comes out and goes absolutely nuts. And then in the race, I didn't even know this was possible. So they're leaning at the end, and actually the commentator said Jamaica wins the gold.
It looked like it, yeah.
I couldn't tell. I thought
it was very close, but yeah, neck and eye, it looked like Jamaica.
Apparently, I didn't even know this, but this makes sense now that I hear this. Like, it's the torso crossing, which is why they lean forward at the end. But when they slowed it down, they actually tied. If you look at the time, it was, I don't know the time, but it was like 9.69 and 9.69, but they actually went into the thousandths of seconds to determine that's how close it was. And so, but the funniest part about it was afterwards, you see Lyles go over, and I forget the guy's name who won the gold. Thompson was his last name. And Noah Lyles is like, I think you got it. Like, he was very like, I didn't think he won. He thought the Jamaica guy won. Even him. Everybody thought it. And so then the name comes up on the board. It took like 30, 45 seconds, and it said Noah Lyles wins the gold. And he immediately takes his name tag off and just flies it up to the camera. He continued to do that for about 45 seconds, running around the track and yelling immediately, "I told you, America, I told you." Like, I knew I was going to win when 5 seconds before he was saying, "I think you beat me," to the Jamaican guy.
Ow.
Then he goes he goes around running around the entire track. By the way, he had his nails painted, running around the track, holding his name up. Then he gets interviewed and he goes, "Yeah, I actually thought the Jamaica guy won, but then, I saw the name come up there and I thought, oh shoot, I'm just that awesome. I'm just that incredible." And I was like, what in the world?
I've seen another interview that he gave, and it was just very bizarre too. It was just like talking about the NBA championship. Did you see that? He's like, "Well, you call yourself world champs. You win the NBA finals. You ain't the world champs. You're just the American champs." It's like, here at the Olympics, we're world champs. Like, needed some reporter to like raise her hand and be like, "No, well, the National Basketball League is the best league in the world. That's why we call ourselves." Like it was funny. Like, Barstool had posted an article, Panathinaikos or whatever it is that won the Euro League and won the Greece League this year. The coach was like, "You're a world champions till you come beat us." And the guy for Barstool, who's a Celtics writer, is like, "Let's look who's on their team." And it was like 3 guys that didn't make it in the league or their best players. And like, somebody else was like, "Yeah, I don't think that team is going to beat the Boston Celtics. But if they want to do it, we can do it. I mean, we'll figure out a gym to do it at, and we'll see who the world champs are." But yeah, that guy seems like a bit of a oddball.
I guess you have to be cocky to be that good.
Sure, yeah.
But
yeah.
you can be a little more humble after you win, right? Like, come on.
Yeah,
you don't have to say, I thought I lost, but when I realized I won, I was like, of course I won. I'm just that good. Like that's a little much for like LeBron James. Like, he wouldn't even say that. Maybe he would, but like not in an interview at least.
Yeah.
The best thing I saw this week is actually also in the Olympics, and her name is Kristen Faulkner. And she is 30 years old. She didn't get into cycling until she was 23, so never cycled. She actually was a rower at Harvard. And she was on the Olympic cycling team, but she was not supposed to run or bike the road race. Like, she didn't qualify. And one of the other athletes, like a couple weeks ago, who was in the road race is better at the triathlon and I guess one of the other timed races. And so she dropped out of the road race and gave Faulkner her spot to focus on the other events. And so Faulkner was like, didn't even qualify for this race. And she goes out and actually wins the gold medal.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy. I actually watched the end of it. There was like 4 riders competing for the medals. They were all like right there, and Faulkner was like in 3rd or 4th. And then all of a sudden, she literally just makes this move like Talladega Nights, like slingshot engage, and just goes around and just blows past him and gets like a 30-second lead and just coasts to victory with like 2 miles to go. It was awesome. And it was a good story.
Not even supposed to be in it.
And she's from a small town called Homer in Alaska.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she ends up winning a gold medal for the United States. Yeah. Awesome.
Looking at the schedule here of all the events, did we make it in anything like in the 3v3 basketball?
Yeah. So this gives me a good segue into a rant here. Well, okay. American women started 0-3, but then they won 4 in a row, got into the play-in game, and won the play-in game. So they're playing today. They're probably playing right now or about to play. So they're in the semis. So if they win, they'll actually be in the gold medal match. The women will. And Haley Van Lith has been absolutely balling. But the men, on the other hand, and look, no disrespect to the guys who are actually in the men's event, right? But literally, like, if we're going to put these guys out here, why don't we send a team of actual guys who are going to have a shot to win this thing? Why are we sending the guy,
Jimmer?
like, dude, listen to this roster.
Hurt, right? Didn't
yeah.
Get hurt?
Yes, listen to this roster. So Jimmer Fredette is one of them, right? Tore a bunch of ligaments in his leg or his knee in like the second game. So you only have 4 players. So they lost their sub like in the second game, but they weren't winning with him anyway. He's 35 years old.
Yeah.
And he's the only one who like legitimately was drafted into the league and played. The other guys are Canyon Barry, who is Rick Barry's nephew, or I'm sorry, Rick Barry's grandson, Brent Barry's nephew.
I was wondering who that was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's got to be one of the
You don't remember him play at Florida? He played at Florida with like Chiozza, and he shoots his free throws granny style, just like his granddad.
Yep.
But he's 30, undrafted G League guy. He's the only one who, besides of the other 3, who actually still currently was playing. Kareem Maddox, 34 years old, drafted back in 2011, stopped playing professionally in 2017. This dude was Bronny James status, 0 for 15 from 3 in the tournament, and was launching that bitch in the game they had to win to get to the play-in game. Didn't make a single one. And then Dylan Travis. This guy was a JUCO.
Wasn't he at Stanford?
No, I don't
Travis?
think. I don't think so. I thought I had heard of him too. Here's what I looked up. I saw
it must be a different Travis.
He was a JUCO guy. Then NAIA, eventually Division II. That was the highest level of basketball he played. And then he played professionally. Here's his career history. He's 32 years old. He played for Rotweiss Cuxhaven, the Scan Plus Baskets, the Western Port Steelers, and the Waverly Falcons. 2 of those teams do not even have Wikipedia pages. Couldn't even look them up. I mean, there's some obscure
probably made
shit.
Up teams he just threw up on the resume.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah, the thing, I completely agree. I just don't know why. Like, I understand some of these guys think they should be on Team USA, right? And so they're pissed off they're not there. Well, swallow your pride and play 3-on-3, or just get guys that are in the NBA that were never going to make Team USA.
Yep.
And that would still dominate the 3-on-3. Like, go get yourself. You don't have Steph Curry. Go get Seth Curry
exactly.
and put him on the team, and then go get, a Kenneth Fareed or someone that's, with just a dog inside. Like, just go get guys that, you're going to win a gold medal. I mean, it's weird to me because I would think some of those guys would be chomping at the bit to, and I want to volunteer. Like, hey, I want to be an Olympian. I want to go to Paris. I'll play 3v3. I don't care. I want to win a gold medal.
Yeah.
And just get NBA players that were never going to make Team USA. Like, I get the fact that, like, Brunson probably wouldn't want to play because he thinks he should be on the real team, stuff like that. But the guys that are just middle of the road NBAers, shit, go get Austin Rivers, like, whatever.
Get Austin Reeves. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I was thinking that maybe was an issue, and I would guess that they could figure this out, but maybe not. You do have to qualify, like you have to play in qualifying events, and I wonder if it conflicts with the season.
I bet it does. I bet the deal is you have to play in a qualifying event, but my whole thing is you could figure a time, like, hey, you guys want to go to the Olympics? You figure a time to have those guys play one game, because that's all I'm sure it is. If you play one game, well, then you're eligible for the...
Or I think one tournament, if you play one tournament, you win the tournament you're in. Yeah.
I mean, to me, it just seems like there'd be guys lining up to do it. Guess not. I mean, I guess... But I assume also it's like you said, you have to play in the qualifiers, and that's the problem. But if I were a middle-of-the-road NBA guy, I would be like, I want to go to Paris. I want to win a gold medal. Why not?
I don't get why you wouldn't. But or even I thought you could even get like the top high school kids. Like, Yeah,
and probably win it that way.
Probably win still that way.
Best college, best college kids that are not,
that are not going pro.
There
are plenty of guys better than what we threw out there. And if we don't want to mess with it, fine. Then don't send the team of a bunch of dude. All you had to do is be top 6 out of 8 teams, and we couldn't even do that.
Oh, that is crazy.
We had to be 6th or better out of 8 teams, and we got bottom 2.
Did you see any of the? I saw Royal Ivy complaining. Any of the South Sudan game?
Did it was a close game?
Oh, they lost by I think 10, but Serbia shot 26 more free throws.
Oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah,
and was it Jokic?
He was like, I don't know who it was, but he's like, I mean, come on. It was like 30. Sorry, it was 31-6. It was 25.
Damn.
Yeah, they shot 6 free throws at 31, and he's like, are you kidding me? Like, we didn't get a fair shake, and I was like, yeah, I don't. Apparently, that was to get. They needed South Sudan to lose to get Giannis into the knockout round.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're like, okay.
I'm looking at the box score here to see. It looks like Jokic took 12 free throws. But you're right, it was 31 to 6.
I can see that. I mean, Jokic
that's
could
not
too
crazy. But the rest of the team shooting, another 20 is pretty ridiculous.
had like 30 points too. He was balling apparently.
Bogdanovich did?
Yeah, he was making everything.
Giannis's team I think went 1-2, but you get like there's only 3 pools, and you get the top 2 plus the best. Only one of the third place team gets left out, and that was South Sudan, and it's based on point differential, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess while we're on the topic, let's just stay on the Olympics and let's talk basketball. So the USA is going to take on Brazil in the quarters. They're 27 and a half point favorites. So it looks like we're going to get the winner of Australia and Serbia in the semis. We beat Serbia handedly, and I watched Australia play, and they're not what they were in the past. So I would be shocked if we lose either of those games. But the other side of the bracket is interesting because France and Canada are actually playing in the quarterfinals.
I think Canada is expected to beat France. Does not look very good at
all.
No,
France very easily could be not in the knockout round.
They say the only reason they're in there is they got calls to beat Japan. I mean,
did you see the foul call on the 3?
I didn't see it.
I mean, basically the guy touched his hip before he went up, and there was not another touch, and they called a foul. They were down 4. It was an 1-3, went to overtime. They threw Rui Hachimura out with supposedly much less than should have been warranted. Like he was called for a flagrant 2 or something.
Yeah, you did tell me that.
I heard a lot of funny business going on over there. But yeah, France is lucky to get there. That said, this is no surprise. You know why? Because they have Rudy Gobert on the team. And Rudy Gobert has done Rudy Gobert things in the tournament. He's made France with Wemby look like absolute dog shit. He's averaging 6 points and 6 rebounds. And
he's just in the way, I'm sure.
He is in the way. 29% from the free throw line. He has more turnovers than made shots in 3 games. Why is Rudy Gobert on the floor? Why is he on the French team? He's horrible. Horrible.
Dude, he's a defensive player of the year, man.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. He's
a sheriff. He demands respect down
low. The French sheriff. Do they even have sheriffs in France?
Probably not.
I would think they're called something much less masculine. Yeah. That's just my guess. Based on the Olympic intro to this year's Paris Games.
Magic.
Yeah. God, what a disgusting display.
It really was.
Okay.
You should see Jason Brown's comments on that, by the way, on Twitter. I was reading through that. He was not, and rightfully so, not happy.
Did you?
I was going to say one more thing about the.
No, I was going to ask you who you thought. Do you think Canada has a legitimate shot to beat the U.S. if they get there?
It'll be it'll be a close. The U.S. hadn't looked good, but I would say no. I just feel like they know that that's their real only competition, and they'll be able to turn it on.
And they've looked better in the group than they have in the warm-ups.
The one thing I'll say is really strange is I've noticed is just a big tail off, and at least first of all, Spain is not any good anymore. And then Brazil and Argentina used to always have fun teams to watch play that could kind of compete. Like, even back 10 years ago, Brazil may be a 15-point underdog in this game. Now it's 27.
That's
they have
a lot.
Nobody. Argentina used to be fun to watch. They're no good anymore.
Were they even in the tournament?
I
don't think they were.
I don't even know if
I don't think they made it. But Spain used to be really good. They didn't make it out of the knockout round.
Yeah.
They actually almost beat Canada in the last group stage game. They had to win to get in, and it was very, very tight. They have some guys. They have Nimhard. They have, obviously SGA. They have Jamal Murray, but they don't have any size inside to handle, our big men, Bam and
Chet?
Anthony Davis.
Is he playing, bro?
Is Chet Canadian?
I thought Chet's Canadian.
I don't think he's playing.
Okay.
He's definitely not on the team. I don't know what happened, but
Yeah, check if he's Canadian.
I'm
I could
curious.
be way off. I thought he was.
Well, you might be right. I
don't know
he
why.
Looks Canadian.
He looks Canadian.
He is from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, well, he might as well be Canadian.
I mean, he could go play on the Canadian team the way Joel Embiid's playing on the U.S.
Unless you play hockey from up there, you're soft, all right? He needs to be on Team Canada. Yeah, I don't know why I thought he was Canadian. I don't know who the hell I'm thinking of, but
there's a few other.
Olenek is Canadian. He's on the team, right?
Yeah, I think
Kelly
so.
Olynyk's.
I think Olynyk's on the team. There's a couple other Olympic things I want to get to, and
my second favorite thing I saw this week is a guy from Turkey that I sent you the picture.
Oh,
and it commented,
what a legend!
He said this guy's raw dog in the Olympics and no glasses, no sight. He's just holding his gun, and everybody's online going, "This guy's definitely a hitman."
Dude, that was so funny how quickly that happened.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, he's definitely
a Turkish
a hitman."
John Wick. Everybody's got their glasses on. He's just got his gun up, just firing shots.
Got his fucking left hand in his pocket.
Love it.
I mean, what a fucking
silver
legend.
medal, right?
Silver medal. What a beast.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Impressive.
Unbelievable. Have you seen the American beach volleyball team with the little girl, Kristen Nuss?
Yeah. The one that's way shorter than everybody
she's
else.
going on my wall of grit if I ever get it up because she is a freaking beast.
Flying around.
Oh my gosh.
So both of our teams made round 16, obviously, right?
Yeah, and the other team is Nuss. Nuss's team is the second best team. The best team
is it Chang and
Chang and I forget the other girl's name,
yeah.
but they actually barely won last night or yesterday against
really?
Italy. Yeah, Italy played them really good. It went to a third set.
That was in the knockout round?
That was in the knockout round. It went to a third set. It was like 15-11 or 15-10 in the last set. So they barely hung on. It might have even been 15-12. It was close.
Said they're the reigning.
They're the world champs.
Yeah,
they're the reigning world champs. But I actually, from what I've seen, think the other USA team is better. Unfortunately, I guess the way it works out, they'll have to play in the semifinals, even though they both won their group.
Okay.
So they can't play in the gold medal match, but they can both medal. The loser of that could win the bronze. But I'm rooting for I forget the other girl's name. The other girl's 6'4", and Kristen Nuss is 5'6". It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I saw them.
And she like.
They play today. I saw them on the schedule.
They play at 11. They're supposed to play at 11. The U.S. men were playing right now too. They were winning. I know. We talked about Chase Budinger plays for one of the USA teams. I don't know if they made it. I'm not sure, but I know the other USA men's team did. And then we had, let's see, if I was thinking about it, like in LA, if I wanted to go watch an Olympic event, beach volleyball would be up there.
Yeah, I think it would be in my top 5.
What would be some of the ones you would want to go see?
I think being there for the track and field. I would say that number 1 would be all the big swimming finals. I think that'd be the most fun going swimming. I think track and field 100, 200, being there for that would be cool.
Question about the swimming for you.
Yeah.
Would it be as fun being there as it would be listening to Dan Hicks and Rowdy Gaines call?
Yeah, they're great. I mean, I don't in Rowdy Gaines, it's serious. Obviously, this is Rowdy Gaines' sports, serious business. They showed him break down the chart with his for the mixed medley. And he's crunching times. He goes, I've got it figured out. I think the Americans are going to be able to do it. This and that and the other.
I just don't see it, Dan. I mean, Jason Lezak has been here how many times before? My favorite is when he's they'll do the splits like they're doing a relay. He's like, oh my gosh, Dan, oh my gosh, 46 flat. He was 46 flat.
And everybody at home's like, we have no idea what that means, Rowdy, but you're excited about it, so we know it's a good thing.
And people love watching that because of him. He's awesome.
Gymnastics are always cool, once every 4 years. I don't want to watch it more than that, but, when you're going for gold, it's amazing how much they train and how precise they have to be in one. When you're doing your floor routine, if you make one step out of bounds, that could be the difference in a gold or nothing. So
I saw Stu Gott said that Simone Biles won the golden vault just because she was Simone Biles. She had deserved to win the gold medal in the vault. I don't know if that's actually true. I didn't watch it, but
I know that she does. I know a lot of her stuff technically, the amount of points that are awarded for it are much higher than. I think only one other girl does what she does on the vault, right?
Yeah, you get a score for the difficulty.
So if she beats the one other girl and lands it better, it's she's going to win because no one else does that difficulty.
Yeah. It's interesting how that works. you're picking a level of difficulty before. It's like basketball where like one team can score 100 and if they play perfectly and the other team can only score 90. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of weird how that is the as far as, are we still in the women's soccer or are we out?
No, we should. I think we're playing Canada because Canada actually advanced despite cheating and getting docked 6 points because they did the new rule.
I think Canada lost it. Didn't they lose to Germany the other day?
I thought they won.
Germany. I don't know. I get it all mixed up. I could have been seeing. I know the men's soccer were out.
They lost. They got absolutely smacked by Morocco.
My brother was complaining about that. I was like, dude, but Morocco has a lot. Like they were World Cup semifinalists, I think, last year.
Who the Americans?
Morocco.
Oh,
no,
Morocco
played, yeah, and they have a bunch of their team, like their actual team. They're trying to win. They're trying to win medals.
Oh shoot, you're right. Did wait? Let me see.
I thought I saw Canada lost.
You might be right. Let's see.
I know that they qualified somehow, which is hilarious.
They qualified. They qualified because they changed the rules where you get a third. There's a couple third place teams that get in, and their goal differential was obviously going to be higher than anybody because they won all 3 matches.
Mm-hmm.
Women's soccer bracket Olympics. So Canada might have lost to.
Don't know.
Oh, they did. I didn't realize this.
Was
Okay,
it
you're
Germany?
right. Yeah, it was in PKs.
Yeah,
it was 0-0, and then Germany won 4-2 in PK. So United States plays Germany tomorrow at 11 a.m. and then we'll get the winner if we win of Spain and Brazil. So we could win. We should win a gold medal there. We should win a gold medal in both men's and women's basketball, and we should have a shot to win a gold medal in 3-on-3 women's, assuming we win today. And we could win beach volleyball. So we have a lot of like team gold medals available left.
Yeah,
we're trying to win. We're going to win the overall medal count. It's just whether we're going to win the gold over China.
And apparently, I was looking I don't know if the badminton medal is already on the deal, but I assume they're going to win that, and that's today. And there was still a bunch of table tennis. So I think you're right. I think I was just watching, it was 2 Chinese girls playing each other. It may have been the individual single. I don't know what they do.
Well, there must be a bunch of different categories because I saw the men's gold medal match, and I think you're right. I think the women's gold medal match already happened, or at least the bronze medal match did.
2, and it was 2 Chinese girls playing against each other.
So I don't know exactly how that works, but I think you're right. We can. There's a few more things I want to bring up. One though, before we kind of get to some other real sports here. Not that this isn't a real sport, but
hey, you said it, man. You have to answer. Online.
Can I retract that?
Wow, what a monster! These people give 4 years of their life, Bailey, day and night, sacrifice time for their family, and we have an asshole over here saying it's not real sports. I can say that about the WNBA. Okay,
based on your text messages to me, I could oust you for talking shit about this sport. Very badly.
We're gonna release private text messages.
No. I would never ever do that.
What a monster!
I'm just saying, if you're gonna call me out right here, I'm just saying I could do it. I'm not going to. But
take about women's tennis being mental midgets.
That's
true, America. I don't know what you want me to say.
You used something.
By the way,
hold on. You used a Borat-esque term yesterday.
That's fine.
Peanut-sized brains.
First of all, I'd never said that.
Shit. Is that nuts?
Bailey, how dare you turn that on right now? We can barely see it.
Hold on. Did we lose the first set? No.
To who?
Are we losing in the second set?
Oh, God.
Oh, we're going to lose.
No, we're done.
We're going to lose.
Speaking of mental midgets, and I've had this debate before, Coco Gauff, and I've said this, has had more talent. She's got more talent than the Williams sisters. Or not more than the Williams sisters. Anybody that's come along since them.
Let it out.
She lost a point in the first set to Donna Vekic at 4-1, break point to go up 5-1, and it was a 50-50 call, and the chair umpire made the call that he thought was right, and I saw it slow down, and it was right, and she went full victim mode and quit in the match. She absolutely quit. She had 3 other set points. She blew every single one of them, and then lost the second set 6-2. As soon as she stops being a victim and sees a sports psychologist that's worth a damn, she'll win a lot of majors. Until then, everything's going to have to go perfect, and a chair umpire is not going to have to make her mad. But she even said, the same thing happened to Serena. If this was a men's tennis match, if it was a men's tennis match, say it was Federer and Nadal, and there was an argument about a call. Just think about how loony this is. An argument about a 4-1 call that was a 50-50 call. Do you think Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal, if someone, first of all, the question wouldn't even be asked because they'd move on from it. Secondly, if they were asked, it'd be like, what are you talking about? It's a point at 4-1 in the first set. It was a 50-50 call. I thought I got the wrong end of it. Let's move on and talk about something else. No. Coco Gauff gets to the press conference and more or less blames her loss on 1 point. And she said the chair umpire was trying to screw her. It's so pathetic. Then we have your girlfriend, Emma Navarro.
Hold on. That's my point.
Who's an absolute, a billionaire's daughter, and she's upset.
Irrelevant.
No, it's not, because it's not irrelevant because she says the locker room's too she's too cutthroat, and she causes a bad locker room. That's what she said. You
don't know what she's talking about. She could be talking about that the girl is literally threatening to slit their throats.
No,
you don't know.
And guess what, Emma Navarro? The girl who was cutthroat, she won the gold medal. So maybe be a little bit more cutthroat.
Look.
And you'd win a gold medal.
Emma Navarro is a beast.
Very average tennis player.
Is a beast. And she's on the uptick, and she's going to win majors.
No, she's not.
She is. She's going to win majors.
Wrong.
And
Donald Trump. Wrong.
And
fake news.
And
oh my God, Joe! You're
this was actually
6 handicap. Oh,
this is my.
Have you seen him through the ball?
This is my favorite thing I saw this week. I mean, Emma Navarro, she didn't care when whether she won or lost. She said congrats, and she said, you were the better tennis player today, but I don't respect you. And that takes some cojones to say that. To go up to somebody in the Olympics and say, I don't respect you after they won. Congrats. They deserve to win. Not I lost because, like your girl Coco Gauff. Not I lost because the umpire was out to get me. She won. Congrats. But this girl, I don't respect you. And look, Emma Navarro is going to win many more majors than Zhang, and I don't care about Zhang. And all you in the comments who basically said, oh, she's just a spoiled rich girl saying this. How dare you? It's not true. It's not true at all. Now I will preface this, I guess not preface because this is the end of my rant here, but I will disclose that I am in love with Emma Navarro. So there is that. I would marry her right now if I could. So I may be a bit biased, but it has nothing to do with the money.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
She's not winning a major either.
And I'm your biggest fan, Emma. That's all I have to say. That's my rant. How dare you? How dare you?
What else do we got? There's a lot of other complaining going on, but more women.
One more women. Wait.
No, tennis. There's more women's tennis, but I can't remember what it was. But anyway, yeah.
Well, we had in the men's tennis, and Novak gets his long-awaited gold medal.
Yep. And I told you, I don't know why. I saw it. I didn't see the match. It looked like an incredible match.
It was the best two-set match ever.
I will go back and watch it. Yeah, it was like 2 hours and 41 minutes.
It was crazy. Dude, like the first 4 games, all 4 went to deuce. It was crazy.
I will go back and rewatch it because I do love tennis, and I was happy for look, Carlos was going to end up winning a gold medal unless something crazy happened. So I was happy for Novak picking up his golden slam, one of 5 guys.
You know what's crazy? I didn't realize that Roger Federer never won a singles gold medal. He won doubles, but he did not win a singles. Rafa did. He won a singles. I guess it is kind of interesting because there's not really rules on what surface you play on, right? It's kind of based on the location.
Yeah, the home country decides. So when it was in London, it was grass at Wimbledon.
Right. And so, but
now it's obviously Paris rolling.
Right. And so, like, if you're just only playing, like, let's say you're only in your prime for 5-6 years, and you're a really good hardcourt player, it could fall where it goes grass, clay. You never get to play on your surface for a gold medal, which is tough.
And the next one will be, since we're hosting,
it'll be hardcourt,
and they'll be doing it at Indian Wells, which is just outside.
That's where they play like the biggest tournament that's a non-major.
That's where I assume because they already have the infrastructure for that, so that makes some most sense.
That's what they did here, right? Playing at Roland Garros.
Yeah.
But Novak won. It was for a 2-set match, it was incredible. Unfortunately, ESPN spoiled the outcome for me. And so I saw who won, but I had bet it the night before because I told you I saw the price, and I was like, Novak's over 2-1. I think
it would have sucked if you lost and just saw the result. You'd be like,
Yeah, I know. But it was much more fun to watch the match at that point. But anyway, yeah, that was a good, a fun tournament.
Scottie Scheffler.
Yeah, we can go over to golf. Scottie Scheffler won the gold. Came into day 10. I'm sorry. Came into the day 10 under on the final day. He was, and this for him is a crazy number. He was 16-1 to win it going into the day. I don't know what the leader was, but it was, I guess, much higher than that. And shoots 9 under in the final day and beats Tommy Fleetwood by 1 stroke and wins the gold medal. But crazy enough, Jon Rahm had a 4-shot lead with 8 holes to play. I think he birdied like 6 of his first 8 holes and then just absolutely imploded, bogeyed 11, bogeyed 12, and then doubled the easiest hole on the course in 14. That was a par 5 that nobody had worse than bogeyed all week.
No?
I watched the last 7 holes, so I watched him kind of implode.
I'm going to go back and watch that replay.
It was and Scottie played really good, but once he kind of had the lead the last couple holes, he just kind of had to coast in and I just
shot a final round 62.
Dude, unbelievable.
Yeah,
and he missed.
He must have been making some of his putts. Anyway.
He missed a putt on 18 that was like an inch away from going in for a 61. Like he was playing absurdly good. But isn't it weird to me? I know Jon Rahm hadn't played that well, but isn't it weird that on an easy course, the course is playing easy, right? I mean, the winner shot 19 under. That he's going to shoot a 39 on the back 9?
That's just that's just nerves and
he didn't even medal.
He hasn't been playing well, and he felt the nerves. There's no other explanation. You don't shoot 39. A guy like him doesn't shoot 39 on the backside of that golf course when everybody else is shooting 62.
Right.
It was a choke.
I believe Schauffele won the gold in, was it Tokyo? Is that where it was?
Mm-hmm.
And then now Scheffler wins. And then Nelly Korda won in Tokyo. So if Nelly Korda or another American wins this time, it'll be a clean gold medal sweep back-to-back Olympics, which is pretty damn impressive for golf.
Is Korda going to win?
I'm just saying if she does. They haven't started yet, but I'm saying she's the favorite, I believe.
Do they just start
They start on Thursday, I believe. Like it's like the same, like they play a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but the second week.
And that's like the last event of the Olympics it'll finish.
I think so because that finishes on the 11th, which is the last day. So, yeah, and Korda won it last year. It'd be pretty crazy if they do sweep the Olympics there. I'm going to move on to your favorite topic, but before I do, we've got 2 little games to play that are becoming weekly segments.
All right.
So the first one, I'm actually debating whether to do WNBA or not today, but
we can skip it.
Bailey, do you think we should do it or not? WNBA or not, where I put the person up and make Turner.
Yeah,
okay,
I like that game. I thought you were
just
saying talk about the WNBA.
Okay, we'll do WNBA or not real quick.
Let's see it.
I'm not gonna lie. This one I'm gonna have to check my notes to see who these people are, but don't. Okay, wait, hold on.
Is that Condoleezza Rice?
Okay, all right. Is this a WNBA player or a non-WNBA player?
I think that's one of the Obama's kids. I'm going to say not a WNBA player. Keep in mind, folks, the picture over here is very grainy.
Oh, I'll put the picture up.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying for me, I mean, it's like half a picture.
Well, it's because I'm cutting the other person out.
Was I right? Was it an Obama?
No, I put an Obama kid in there last time, remember?
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
No, Bush.
I put Bush's kid. Well, that was a good guess. I like that. But actually...
That's why I guessed Obama's kid, because you did put a Bush kid in there.
This is actually a WNBA player. Okay. And her name is Nafisha Collier of the Minnesota Lynx. Yep. That is Nafisha Collier of the Minnesota Lynx.
It was on the tip of my tongue. I knew
it. Okay, number 2. Is this a WNBA player?
Is that Dwight Howard? Is that actually... Hold on. That's Dwight Howard, is it not? Oh, dude, for the people at home, Paley, does that not look like Dwight Howard?
I'm putting it up. They'll see it. They'll see it when you're doing this.
It looks just like Dwight Howard. What the fuck are we talking about? Is that a WNBA player? Who the fuck is that?
Are you saying, is your guess Dwight Howard?
Yes, my official guess is Dwight Howard. And Bailey said it looks just like Dwight Howard, too.
That's Chelsea Gray of the Las Vegas Aces.
Chelsea, you look just like Dwight Howard. And maybe just in this picture. Maybe just in this picture.
I got him. That's 0 for 2.
Bailey even said, yes, he did. Did Bailey say that for the record?
He said
Yes.
kinda.
Oh
he
my
said
God.
kinda.
Looks just like Dwight Howard.
Okay.
My God.
Third one. Is this a WNBA player or non-WNBA player?
It looks like she's wearing a Kobe Bryant shirt. That's one of Kobe Bryant's daughters.
So non-WNBA player?
Non-WNBA player.
This is a WNBA player.
It says Mamba.
Jewel Lloyd.
Okay.
Jewel Lloyd. I don't know who she plays for, but that's a
I can't believe you
WNBA player.
put Dwight Howard's doppelganger in here and try to do that to me. Dude, I mean, Bailey, you even said it. I'm not even being mean. Oh, I'm throwing Bailey in.
Bailey does not want to be included in the Dwight Howard.
Dude,
Let's put it up again.
Okay, when people look at this picture, I want to preface this. When you're looking at this picture at home, step 3 steps back from your laptop or computer and then look at it. Because I'm a ways away, but if you take 3 steps back, it looks just like Dwight Howard.
Okay, all right. One more. Ready? Last one. WNBA player
no,
or
that's
non?
G.I. Jane. That's G.I. Jane. That's why Chris Rock got the keep my wife's name out your mouth. You got smoked.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Yep, that's G.I.
Fucking
Jane.
Legendary moment. Yeah, do you know her actual name?
Jada.
There you go, Jada Pinkett Smith right there. So you did get one.
Yeah.
You got one. That's pretty good.
I'm
going to say it was a downtick from last time. You went 3 for 5 last time.
Let me preface by saying,
and I gave you Joanna Man on the last one.
It's true. By saying this, let's not call her a relevant person, okay? She just is a little bit more relevant than the WNBA player looks like Dwight Howard, okay? I know who she is because Chris Rock, same difference, got smoked. They really are. They're the same people 20 years apart.
That's
they
fair.
really are.
I like Chris Rock a lot better,
I
but
do
yes.
too, but I'm just saying they are legitimately the same short, funny black guy that are in all kinds of movies.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Never seen a movie they didn't like. Okay. Well, good job, Turner. You didn't do as good as last time, but
I got Dwight Howard.
I do think it'll be fun to get to
conspiracy theory for the people at home. That girl that I said is Dwight Howard is actually Dwight Howard dressed up Joanna Man style playing in the WNBA.
Well, she's like, 8 inches shorter, maybe more.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay.
Well, they could have, I guess shaved some off.
I guess you could say it's debunked.
I get that's debunked. I ruined your theory right there.
There's a conspiracy.
That's the problem with conspiracy theories there.
Yep.
Okay. All right. One more game, and then we'll talk some
Another
NFL.
game. Ooh.
Well, these are just staples, and we didn't kind of fit these in, so I'm going back to back here. So ready? It's time for news or fake news.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one.
And this is good because we just get topics out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start with number one. Number one, news or fake news. The Jaguars waived tight end Josh Peterson, son of Doug Peterson, head coach of the Jaguars, meaning Doug Peterson basically cut his own son.
I'm going to say that's real news.
That is real news. Actually, the Jaguars did cut him. Now, he got injured in training camp, and they're saying if he gets not picked up off waivers, which is likely, then he'll end up on the injured reserve for the Jags and still be on the roster. But they did cut him, and it begs to the question, let's say you, Turner, were the head coach of an NFL team, and your son is an NFL caliber player, but not necessarily a starter level. Would you be willing to sign your son to your team if, let's say, you would take him over a player of equal or better, let's say better value?
Yeah. A lot of times people don't understand this comes down to like the moms at home. Like Doug Peterson would be very, very, he could be getting abused.
I can't believe
at
you're
home.
going here.
No,
like who?
The wife could be abusing Doug Peterson.
Yeah,
to
who?
Have his son on the team.
Like Lucas Glover?
Yeah, like Lucas Glover getting the shit beat out of him by his wife.
If you don't finish in the top 5.
Yeah. She used to beat the shit out of him if he didn't get top 5.
I'm surprised you went there. I thought you were going to say, no, of course not. Nepotism doesn't exist. Or shouldn't exist.
It shouldn't exist, but yeah, it always will.
But what I'm talking about you.
Yeah, you know what? If my son if he was good, it depends on what kind of levels we're talking about here, man. Because it's like, if I thought he was a good locker room guy and could coach, like he wants to get into coaching, and he was the fourth string practice tight
Okay,
end
that's
instead
different.
of someone else, sure. But if it's an actual roster spot, no.
Okay.
But if it's like
So
you're a gonna be quality control coach the next year or something, I think it's different.
okay, what about if it was high school? Let's say you're the head coach of a basketball or football team in high school and your son's decent, but he doesn't deserve to start. Would you start him over someone who deserved it?
No.
Thank you. That's all I have to say. Good thing I've never experienced that. Just make sure all the coaches out there, if your son is not deserving to play, then don't play him. That's how it works. We don't have to actually, go out of our way to screw other people over. But we'll move on. Okay. Number 2 on fake news or news. The Dallas Cowboys have re-signed Stephon Gilmore to a 1-year contract worth $8 million.
I can't remember if his contract was up. It sounds like real news. It might be fake news, but it sounds like real news.
So which one?
I think that's about what he would make. I'm going to say real news, and he's old.
You know why that's not real news, and that is
fake news.
You know why?
Because he got $10 million a
No,
year?
no, I'm not that conniving, okay?
What is
because Jerry Jones would never refuses to sign anybody this fucking offseason. So no, Stephon Gilmore is a free agent and has not been signed, and the Cowboys did not re-sign him. I don't know why.
Yeah, I figured they would for like $8 million. So that it sounded real.
It sounded real.
I think I saw something today. It's absolutely hilarious that I believe because this is so fucking Jerry Jones. They were saying some writer was saying that they haven't signed Dak Prescott because he wants to go get Shadur Sanders when he graduates from Colorado.
Gosh, I hope
and
that's not
that would be the most Jerry Jones thing.
100% it would.
We're bringing Dion, and guess what? Dion's going to coach.
See you, Mike.
I could absolutely see
Mike
that.
out, Dion in.
Yep.
Here we go.
We're
How about
Dion,
them
we're gonna need
Cowboys?
his son to come play quarterback for us.
How about them Cowboys?
Cowboys.
Yeah,
I can definitely see that happening.
I can see that happening too. I mean, we have no running back. We have Zeke Elliott and fucking
Did you
Rico
see the video
Dowdle.
of Zeke going through like the running back breakthrough deal that you run through like the arms or whatever, and he was like limping afterwards. Like, look how old Zeke looks running through this.
It's crazy how running backs age in this league. Dak and him came in the same year, and Zeke's just like this old,
decrepit
burnt out.
man.
Yeah, and we have Dak trying to get like a max contract.
Yeah.
Like just complete opposites.
Play quarterback, kids. Play quarterback.
Yeah, but don't play running back. I mean, no, but seriously, like Kareem Hunt, Dalvin Cook, Latavius Murray, they're all free agents. I'm not saying they're all great, but they're probably better than Zeke Elliott. And then, you look at some of the other Michael, did you see this? I was going to make this news or fake news. Michael Gallup retired the other day.
Oh, really?
Michael Gallup retired. So we lost another receiver, right? All we really have is we have Brandon Cooks and CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's holding out. And then you have my dad's boy, Jalen Tolbert, as the number 3 option. And we've got freaking Michael Thomas sitting out there as a free agent. Nobody signed him. I know he's a head case. He'd fit in perfectly in Dallas. Why don't we go get him?
Yeah, that seems like that's like Dallas. That seems like such a Dallas thing to do. Like not take care of anything else. And Jerry go, we need to get Michael Thomas.
That's
exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
Thomas on
I would be happier with that than doing nothing, right? I mean, there's a bunch of corners and safeties too who are out there, and our secondary was terrible. We wouldn't go out and get them. Okay, number 3. News or fake news. Tyreek Hill and the Miami Dolphins agree to a restructured deal that increases his guaranteed money to $106.5 million, the most ever for a wide receiver.
Real news. I saw it.
That is real news. And my question to you is, does it matter? Are the Dolphins going to be any better this year? Are we going to see the exact same Miami Dolphins?
Well, it's funny. We talked about it. Think about how banged up they were with injuries at the end of the year. It's going to be, and if they can stay healthy, it'll be very interesting to see how good they can be. I don't know. I think the offense is still a little gimmicky, but who knows? They score a shit ton of points. Can they win in the playoffs doing that? Do I think they're better than the 49ers? No. I don't think. Now they could possibly get to like a super. I mean, I don't even think that. I think the Jets on paper with that defense, I'd like them to win that division this year. If Rodgers is even, 80% of his old self, it's going to be that division is just going to be super interesting because you don't know what's going to happen with Buffalo, with them having basically lost Diggs. What's his name too? Diggs and
they have no wide receivers. They lost everybody.
They got Coleman. That's about it. We'll see how good he is.
I'm curious.
They got Shakir still there.
I don't even know. I think he's still there. Yeah, no, he is still there. But you look at it like, okay, the Jets are going to be significantly better. The Bills, I believe, are going to be not significantly, but slightly worse. They lost some
Yeah.
key pieces and in their defense and on their wide receivers.
Yep.
And I'm not a big Sean McDermott guy. And then you have the Dolphins. Are they going to be a little better? Are they going to be a little worse? Are they a gimmick offense like we all think they are? Because, I mean, when you look at it, they beat one team with the winning record, one playoff team last year, and that was the Dallas Cowboys on a walk-off field goal, a game where Dallas basically gave the game away, right? Like fumbled on the 1-yard line, had a bunch of mistakes. The Dolphins very well could have been 0-for against decent teams, and then they go into the playoffs and lose 26-7 against Kansas City, and Tua plays horrible.
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously the worst case scenario, weather and stuff like that they could play in, but I don't think they would have beat them anywhere, especially with all their injuries. I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I'm going to say the Jets win the division, and I'm going to actually say Miami gets second. I think the Bills are going to be third in the division this year.
Okay, so we're going to do a fun little division thing in a minute here, so I like that pick. I think that you said the Jets.
Jets win the division.
Shoot, I kind of think the same thing.
And then Dolphins.
If
and then Bills.
If the Jets get Devontae Adams, I'm not saying that's going to happen because I don't know if they could afford it or how that would work. But if those rumors ever end up being true, even if they get him midway through the year, given him and Rodgers already have chemistry, I forgot they also got Mike Williams. That would be a ridiculous offense with Breece Hall, Mike Williams, Garrett Wilson, and you add Devontae Adams. You already have a defense that's top 5 from last year. Aaron Rodgers looks healthy.
Yeah, it's funny. I think they actually should do it because their window is like 2 years anyway.
Exactly.
So go get Devontae Adams, and if you get Rodgers for one more year, you have 2 years to try to win a Super Bowl, and all the Jets fans would be fine with being miserable for 10 years after that if they get one Super Bowl. So.
That was one of my – I was going to bring that topic up. Like I was going to make this fake news or news, but I didn't. You have Aaron Rodgers, they said, has looked phenomenal in camp. Like you wouldn't know that he had an Achilles injury. I wasn't sure with his, shaman medicine routine where he's running on his Achilles a week after surgery, but he took 42 snaps the other day in practice, ran the 2-minute drill, and apparently looked really, really good. So interested to see how long he plays, but you're right. The window is so small. I wonder if they just go all in right now. They basically have already pawned their franchise off. Problem is they still have Nathaniel Hackett calling plays. Okay, number 4. This is a good one. Kentucky men's basketball to hold an open tryout on August 30th. News or fake news?
Fake news.
That's news. Yep.
I thought you were trying to trick me with it. I was like, it sounds like it could be news because I know everybody left, but like the open tryout, I guess you just hope to get like one solid bench guy out of it.
Dude, the only 2 other major programs I've heard doing this in the past decade are Louisville last year when they had Kenny Payne, who might be the worst recruiter in the country. You have a team who was winning national titles a decade ago and is losing to Division II schools at the beginning of the year. Guy got fired in 2 years, and he was like a legend, like a former player. They just didn't want to fire him. He was just that horrible. And so, them, and then TCU women last year, because they had so many injuries, or a couple years ago, they had so many injuries that they needed players to fill out their roster. Supposedly, this is not that. That's not the case here, right? Supposedly, Mark Pope has plenty of guys on the roster, and this is just to open tryout for walk-ons to give guys a shot.
That sounds like something Mark Pope, just kind of knowing a little bit about him in the coaching search and stuff. It seems like something he would do. Like I bet he did it at BYU. I bet he did it at,
I don't know. I didn't hear that he did it at BYU, but I mean, they do have a couple of guys. They got good transfers, but I just think it's hilarious how after basically I posted that clip of me shitting on Kentucky for hiring Mark Pope and getting rid of Calipari, all the Kentucky fans shit on us in the comments, and now we have Mark Pope hosting an open tryout to try to get walk-ons on the team.
I think it's just evident that Calipari was just like, fuck this, I'm whatever, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
He just, his buddy got a lot of money over at University of Arkansas, and he was like, I'm on the hot seat here, I'm having to deal with this shit, why wouldn't I leave, right?
Sure.
What does it matter? I'm going to be able to recruit where I can. He's already told me he's giving me this much NIL money. I can certainly win in Arkansas, so.
Yeah. So, the last
Where did Musselman end up going?
Musselman went to USC, I believe.
Is that right? That's what I thought. Yeah.
That's what he went to USC after they fired Andy Enfield.
Yeah.
How
did Andy Enfield hold on so long?
Dude, that was impressive. I mean, he was bad for a long time. I know they did make the tournament like 1 or 2 years, and they were the 8 or 9 seed. They would always lose in the first round, but man, they went That was a bad deal. I mean, he clearly couldn't coach and just was a good recruiter. And
Yeah.
That's not enough anymore with NIL. Okay, the last one I was going to do for news or fake news was South Sudan defeats Serbia to reach their first ever knockout stage of the Olympics in men's basketball, but that's obviously fake news, and we already talked about that. So I'm gonna flip flop and call an audible here, and I'm gonna say, okay, number 5, news or fake news. Dak Prescott stated that he has an obligation to help future quarterbacks and his teammates by signing a massive contract. Is that news or fake news?
I heard him talk the other day, but I don't remember hearing him say that. I'll say fake news.
It's actually news. He did say that. Now, Dak needs to stop it. Okay, the NFL quarterback market's pretty set. If you're 6 years or less, you get the max you can make is 25% of the salary cap. If you're 7 to 9, it's 30%. If you're 10 plus years, it's 35%. But none of that, it's crazy. But even none of the quarterbacks make that. 90% of the top quarterbacks, maybe 99%, make between 20% and 25% of the salary cap. That's what they're making. I mean, Joe Burrow's making 25%, and he's tied for the highest paid guy or second highest paid guy, right? So you're not making more than that. And that's around what Dak wants. And his contract has no relevance whatsoever for future quarterbacks. The cap goes up, the percentage goes up, the number goes up, and relative to everybody else, the contracts go up. Yeah. It has no bearing, and arguably it makes it worse for his teammates because he's taking away money that can be paid to Micah Parsons or CeeDee Lamb, and if he was an actual guy who wanted to win a Super Bowl, what would he do? He would take a pay cut. He would not be asking for $55 million. The reason he is because the guys who ask for that money and who hold out for that money usually aren't the guy to win a Super Bowl. Not always, but a lot of the time that's the case. I am fed up with Dak Prescott. Now, does he deserve to get paid $40 million a year or whatever? Sure. But he doesn't need to be asking for $55, $60 million a year. He's worth 40, 45, whatever. That's the going rate for a guy of his level. Maybe even 50, right? But he just needs to stop acting like he's on some crusade to help everybody. He wants the money for himself. That's it. Like
he says to help other people.
That's
generations to come. It's a set market, like you said. Yeah. He's an idiot.
Just stop it, Dak. Stop it. All right, we're gonna do in honor of the NFL season starting in less than a month. It is August 5th.
Big Dog's excited. Big Dog's excited. He told me to let everybody know big things coming.
He went and got
big things are coming.
He went and got. By the way, I beat his ass in pickleball last night, 45-5.
Don't believe what you hear.
He talked more shit. Fake news. That's right. He talked more shit than you would have thought. He won 45-5. Okay, but
he
in
needs
honor,
me out there as hype man.
Yeah, he does.
Your
but
mom's cracking up and everything. Oh, what a shot! What a shot!
The problem is, you allow him to cheat, and so we need shot tracker out there. We need Hawkeye with lines because he'll call a ball. I mean, if it's 3 feet in, it's out, and for him, if it's 3 feet out, it's in. So there's a 6 foot grace period line in between the lines. Okay. But in honor of the football season, NFL, less than a month away, actually exactly 1 month away. It's August 5th today, and we are starting on I believe September 7th. Is it September 5th or 7th? Anyway, regardless, we're starting very, very soon. And so we're going to go through each conference, and we're going to call this the fastest 2 minutes, the Slob Pod fastest 2 minutes, and we are going to pick winners for every single division. If you haven't pulled up, great. If not, I can tell you what division we're in. Okay, so we're going to go quickly. We're going to give who our division winner is and a quick description why. Ready?
Yeah.
We'll start in the AFC, and we'll start with the AFC East. The Bills, the defending champs. Who is your division champ? Go.
New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers is back healthy. Best defense in the division. I think Miami's going to be 2, and I think the Bills are going to fall to 3, just losing so much in offense, and obviously the Patriots will be dead last. That's my prediction for the AFC East.
Give me the New York Jets to win the AFC East. Tua Tagovailoa cannot throw the ball. Don't ever trust a lefty quarterback. Josh Allen has nobody to throw to. He's literally throwing to high school receivers out there. Don't even talk to me about the Patriots. Give me the Jets to win the AFC East. All right, AFC North. Who do you got in the AFC North?
Give me the Brownies, the Cleveland Browns, shocking the world and winning the division.
Wow.
I will take, dude, honestly, you got to say this is the best division in football?
Probably. Probably.
Right? I think you do. I mean, from top to bottom, I think everybody's pretty solid. I mean, people expect the Steelers to be better because the defense is good. Do I trust Russell Wilson? Hell no. But I'm going to take the upset and go with the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns. Okay.
And then obviously the Ravens will be second there if they don't win the division.
More important question though: will the Steelers have will they have a winning record?
Yes.
9-8.
Whether it's winning or 500.
Well, they can't be 500 anymore because of 17 weeks.
Yeah, they can. They could have a draw.
That's true. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Yes.
My apologies.
Mike
they absolutely
Mike
could.
Tomlin has already done that.
I think it's actually
like
likely.
Reminds me of Happy Gilmore. He's like Happy Gilmore accomplished that feat no less than he's like he drove you can't drive the fucking green here.
Okay.
Mike Tomlin, if it's possible to go 500 or having a winning record, Mike Tomlin will find a way out.
Okay. AFC North. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals. Cool Joe Burrow will take down the crown in the AFC North. The Ravens will fall off Lamar Jackson. You have not one but two fraudulent MVPs. I do like the Brownies. They were my second choice. I think they'll finish second. The terrible towels will be waving with Deshaun Watson. And the Steelers will not win more than 7 games this year.
Bullshit.
Crack the Mike Tomlin. Cue the Mike Tomlin. No more winning seasons. He's out of Pittsburgh in like 2 years, and Russell Wilson will be out of the starting job very quickly there. We're going to go to Justin Fields. I hope I'm wrong because Russell Wilson's on my fantasy team. All right, moving on. AFC South.
The one thing I can promise you about this division is that the Tennessee Titans, the absolute shittiest team in this division, will finish dead last. That's a guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
I'm going to take my Texans to win the division. I know you like the Colts with the price there. And I'm going to have the Jags finishing in third. And breaking news, sorry to Big Dog, I know we're going to get in this later, Doug Peterson will be fired as the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow. Doug Peterson, Super Bowl champion.
And author.
There you go. And author.
Sorry, Big Dog. He's gone.
Okay.
Maybe your Cowboys could pick him up. Piss off Dylan.
We do not want him. But I will tell you this. The AFC South this year runs through Indianapolis. I have never been an Anthony Richardson guy, but for some reason, this year with Shane Steichen, the wizard, the guru, the next Mike McDaniel, he is going to come out and win this division. Give me the Colts. Jaguars will finish last in the division below the Tennessee Titans. Trevor Lawrence, absolute bum, can't throw the ball, don't care. The locks of hair, annoying, tired of him. Get him away from me. Give me the Colts. Titans will finish third, Texans second. Move on. AFC West.
As you can all see at home, Dylan was way more prepared for this.
I swear to God.
You're doing a good job.
I swear to God, I am on the fly here. I'm just trying
You're doing a great job.
I'm trying to go showman.
You are definitely showmaning it up.
I'm trying to go showman here.
You know, AFC West, I don't think it's going to change. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to go maybe back to a Super Bowl. Actually, you know what? They're not going to go back to the Super Bowl this year, but they will win the division.
Okay.
I'm going to throw the Raiders in there second. I don't know why. Give me the Raiders second.
That's a jaw dropper.
Chargers third, and the worthless Denver Broncos to finish in fourth.
You know what I got to say to that? Who's got it better than us? Nobody. Give me the Chargers to win the AFC West. Jim Harbaugh's first year. Does he ever let you down? No, he doesn't. He may be weird as fuck. No, not maybe. He is weird as fuck. He rubs people the wrong way. He's a big dude.
I like him now.
He's outspoken. I've always liked him. And Jim does one thing, and that is win. He might cheat to do it, but he is going to win.
He might get your university on sanctions, but guess what? They win national titles, and then guess what? When the hammer's about to come down, you get out of Dodge.
That's right.
Exactly what he did.
Exactly. And so he'll probably take this team to a Super Bowl, and then he'll slide right on out of there after stealing signs or pulling a Bill Belichick or whatever. But give me the Chargers to win this division. How dare you say the Raiders are going to finish second? They're the worst team in this division. I don't even know his name. Kevin O'Connell's the coach of the Vikings. That's not the coach of the quarterback of the Raiders, but I'm thinking that. I don't know why. He is a bum, and he's throwing to my boy Devontae Adams. He's ruined his fantasy value for me. Raiders finished last. Bo Nix, average first year. He's going to start pretty quickly. Can see a rotating quarterback system in Denver. Don't really care about the Broncos. Chiefs finish second. They're out in the first round of the playoffs. Travis Kelce retires. All right, moving on to the NFC. NFC East.
Travis Kelce is going to retire. Then why don't you trade him in fantasy football?
I don't actually believe this. I'm just trying to. Trying to put a spin on this.
He's going to retire.
No, he's not going to retire. I retract my statement. All right, NFC East.
How about them Cowboys?
No, you just did it.
I'm picking the Cowboys to win the division, and I don't even like the Cowboys, but the Cowboys are winning the division. Eagles second, Commanders third, Giants or what? Actually, you know what? Giants third, Commanders dead last. Danny Dimes slings it around. This is how I know Jason Brown knows his stuff. Going through his Twitter and all his crazy tweets. The one thing he had on there where people griping at Danny Dimes, he said, Danny's going to ball this year. Just watch. He's a Danny Dimes man, just like myself. My uncle, who's a big Giants fan, was like, do you actually like Danny Dimes? I'm like, not really, but I don't think he's as bad as people at home think he is. He said no one to throw to ever, and his offensive line's been the worst in football for 3 years. So, I mean, I don't know what you really expect. He's running for his life at all times. Do I think he's great? No. Do I think he's as bad as people make him out to be? No. I think he's going to have an okay year. I think Neighbors is going to be good. Look,
here's the thing about Danny Dimes, and then I'll get to who I pick in this NFC East. Danny Dimes, if he didn't have 4 guys off the street, 350-pound sumo wrestlers protecting him, I mean, getting run by every play. The guy gets his bell rung more than Mike Tyson. He gets absolutely lit up. I mean, have you ever seen the video where he gets hit by the Cowboys? He's wobbling around, slurring his speech, doesn't know where the fuck he is. Okay, if he gets one more concussion, he's going to not be able to play football anymore, okay? But I will say, you are right. He's not as bad as everybody says. If he doesn't get hit in the head another 15 times this year, yes, they will be okay. Although I'm not a big Brian Daboll fan, the more I've seen him as a head coach. All right, moving on. I'm not picking my Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys getting second in this division? Because that's where they're going to finish behind the Philadelphia Eagles. Why? Because Jerry Jones does nothing in the offseason, and Howie Grossman goes out and makes moves. And that's what happened this offseason, and that's what's going to happen this regular season. Give me the Eagles to win the NFC East, and they're going to win it going away, even though they have one Reed Jalen at quarterback, and Jason Kelsey retired, so the tush-push might be gone.
I would like to say one thing. Howie Roseman, we give him a lot of credit, but the man has done a good job of drafting all kinds of convicts on defense. However, he also drafted Jalen Reagor, the pick before Justin Jefferson. People forget that. Okay, I just need to bring that up. I know he's done a pretty good job, but that is one of the worst misses in NFL history.
That's pretty bad. It's like
and in the video of the Vikings cracking up in the war room was one of the funniest things there. They're like, put the name in. Oh my God, they could not believe he took. And Roseman thought he was like
a genius.
Picture of Rain Man with the he's like, oh, we got to go with Ray. He's got his upside's better.
I will say that was like
the best receiver in the league.
Yeah, that was like Bay of Pigs level of a fuck up.
Now, to be fair, there was 20 other something teams that passed on Jefferson too, but the pick right before to take Reagor is pretty horrible. He's also missed on other receivers, like the kid from our JJ or Whiteside from the second round pick. He wasted on him. There's been all kinds of guys, but the success they've had, and they've won a Super Bowl.
Look, don't get me wrong, folks. I'm rooting for the Cowboys, and I do not think that I do not want the Eagles to win. And also, I will say this: I don't think the Giants are going to have that bad of a year. I do think the Commanders. I think. I want to say they're going to have a good year, the Commanders, but Dan Quinn won't allow that to happen because he's just not a good head coach. But I do think Jaden Daniels is going to have a really good year, so I'm kind of conflicted on that one. So I will give you that.
Most people think he's going to run. I've heard hearing people say that he's just going to run for a shit ton of yards. A lot of people think he's going to be great.
RPO type deal.
Yeah.
All right, NFC. Oh, yes, something else.
Well, no, I was just going to say the Cowboys are. It's just going to be classic Dallas Cowboys fashion. They're going to win the division. They're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
And then it's going to be like, okay, well, now what? They're going to end up paying Dak, and it's just going to be another 5 years of shit.
They will. If the Cowboys lose in the first round of the playoffs, hot take of the week. If the Cowboys lose in the first round of the playoffs again, Dak's out, and so is Mike McCarthy. They'll have a new quarterback.
For sure out.
Yep, they'll be on. They'll
I just don't know what they can do about Dak, because if they win that division and they lose in the first round of the playoffs, who are they gonna go get?
I agree with you. I'm just saying. I think if they lose again in the first round, I think Jerry will make an emotional decision. And if he hasn't re-signed him by now, he's waiting to see something, and it's definitely not another first-round playoff loss. So, all right, moving on.
Shedeur Sanders
waiting in the wings.
Prime.
Yeah, that would be a Johnny Manziel type move.
It would be such a hilarious move, and Jerry, it's definitely not above him.
No, it's not. NFC North.
Give me Dan Campbell and the Fighting Detroit Lions.
Oh, God. Big ball Dan. How dare you?
Big Dick Dan. He's going to do it. Big Dick Dan.
Big Dick
I'm
Dan.
Get a shirt. Big Dick Dan. Big balls, big dick. As Big Dog would say, Godzilla balls. He is going to win the division. And you know what? I'm going to take the... Oh, man. It's a problem. The Vikings, I think, if they could just have a fucking quarterback.
That's the problem.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna take the Vikings second, which is a big one. I'll take the Packers third, and the Chicago Bears are gonna finish dead last in the division.
Well,
Caleb Williams is gonna throw 25 interceptions.
Well, that's a lot of interceptions. That's like Peyton Manning first-year interception level.
25.
Look, I wanted to make a case here for anyone but the Lions. I didn't want to take Big Dick Dan here. But I look at the rest of the teams. I'm not feeling the love in Green Bay at all. Caleb Williams paints his nails, so they're out, right? And then you have the Minnesota Vikings, who have no quarterback. I don't know what to do here, and so it leaves me nothing other to do than to take the Detroit Lions and Noodle Arm Jared Goff to win this division. The Lions will win the NFC North. Dan Campbell will be giving three crazy rants this year after games. The Lions will end up losing in the first playoff game, though. It's going to be a very disappointing season after a great regular season in the playoffs. Give me the Chicago Bears to finish dead last as well. In fact, I'm going to go exactly how you said. The Vikings are going to finish second somehow, some way. Kevin O'Connell and what's Wade's son's name? Wes Phillips did heck of a job. They're gonna be the coaches of the year, getting this team into the playoffs. Vikings have finished second. Packers, big drop off now that they paid Jordan Love. All right, 2 divisions left. NFC South, one of the worst divisions in football, maybe the worst division in football.
In honor of Will Fagan, I'm going to take Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers to win this division. No idea what the odds are. I have no idea it's favored. It's just a clusterfuck of a division. I know Carolina's obviously not. But I'm going to take the Bucks, Saints. Actually, it's going to be Bucks, Falcons, Saints, Panthers in that order. The Falcons, Kurt, the whole dynamic of them taking Penix, I don't know. I don't like it. I think he feels disrespected by it. I think the Bucks are a solid team. They get it done. Shake and Bake got paid, and they're going to make the playoffs and lose in the first round. I mean, this is the last few years have been the worst division in football, right?
Terrible.
I mean, as far as like making the playoffs,
terrible.
Losing record.
No, they've been the worst
yeah.
division in football, no matter what you look at.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, hot take. I cannot take the New Orleans Saints. Why? Because of Derek Carr, and because I already forgot their coach's name when I'm trying to think of it right now, and I have completely lost my train of thought trying to think of it because Dennis Allen, there it is. Dennis Allen, worst coach in football, should have been fired before he was hired. He's terrible. So they're out. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, he's a hot and cold guy. He was hot last year. He'll be cold this year. So that leaves 2 teams, the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. So obviously I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers to win this division. Give me Carolina.
No,
Give me Tepper's Monsters. I was trying to think of some alliteration there. Couldn't do it. Tepper's team, there you go, is going to win this division.
This is a
Bryce Young. Bryce Young, comeback player of the year. They found him an offensive line. I don't know if that's true. I might be making it up.
He's just trying to clip this, folks, to get people riled.
Give me the Carolina Panthers to win the NFC South. Lock of the century.
I didn't believe that for a second.
Lock of the century.
That's hilarious.
NFC West, last division.
Bet your baby lock.
Bet your baby. That's a bet your baby bet right there.
NFC
Take the Panthers.
West.
NFC West, go.
49ers are going to win it. I think the Los Angeles Rams are going to be the second best team in the NFC.
Ooh, that's a hot take. And it almost takes away my take of give me the Los Angeles Rams to win this division.
They could.
They got the best quarterback in football, Matthew Stafford, a gunslinger, gutsy, on my wall of grit. You bet he is. That's my boy. We got Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams. They drafted Blake Corum, a national champion. All right? That team is good.
I don't know if I like that pick, by the way. I feel like they could have done something else, but...
Look, I like the
pick.
pick.
Did they get him in?
I don't know. I don't care. But the defense is going to be better. What's the name of the defensive coordinator they lost?
He's the new head coach of the Falcons, right?
It's Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris. They lost Raheem Morris. That means giant uptick for the defense. What they should do, they should bring back in good old Wade Phillips. They should bring in Wade. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams. That's what they should have done. If they did that, they'd win a Super Bowl, but they didn't, so they're just going to win the division. Give me the Los Angeles Rams. I will pick the 49ers to finish second, and then give me the Cardinals to finish third above the Seahawks. Seahawks finished dead last in that division after firing Pete Carroll. All right.
Forgot. Pete's gone, man.
Pete. That's it for Pete.
I'm going to see him chomping on that gum on the sideline.
No more. But that does it for our NFL divisions. We'll go on. I want to do a couple more NFL topics since we're on the docket here, and we've got coaches on the hot seat. So I want to hear, give me your number one coach on the hot seat going into the NFL season.
Well, I don't even know if you can say it. It's obviously Mike McCarthy, but I don't even know if you could say it because this is the end of his contract, right? So can you even say he's on the hot seat?
Yeah, because I think not. Well, I think not getting renewed is the same thing as getting fired.
Okay. Well, yeah.
In my eyes, it is.
I definitely they're going to have to win at least one playoff game, maybe 2 playoff games for him to keep his job, in my opinion.
Okay, if they win 2 playoff games and get to the NFC title game and get smoked, is he back?
I don't know. It just all depends on what you never know what
you don't know.
Dumbass Jerry Jones is thinking. But
good point.
I would say yes. I think if you get to the NFC title game, you can't look at that as a failure. I think if they do that, I think Mike McCarthy comes back and I think they get Dak or re-sign Dak. My second would be Doug Peterson in Jacksonville. They underachieved last year big time by missing the playoffs as far as that division.
He's definitely on the hot seat.
Then probably my third would be who's my third?
Real quick, before you go to your third, what does Doug Peterson have to do to keep his job this year?
Make the playoffs.
That's it?
Yeah, because they're not on paper. They have them as third fiddle in that division, don't they?
Yeah, they're
second. They're like right there with the Colts.
It's them and the Colts.
I think he has to make the playoffs, and that would be.
I would say they're second. I'd say they're ahead of the Colts in projections, probably.
Yeah, I think perhaps.
That division literally comes down to the last game of the season every single year.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. And then the other one is I would make Dable's got to do something. I know they've been bad, but Dable's got to do something in New York, otherwise he's gone. New York only gives you so many years before they just completely turn on you. And then I know who you're going to – I'll let you say them, but there's another one too, but you can go ahead.
Well, tell me if I hit it. If not, bring them up. So, I agree.
You're definitely going to hit it.
Well, I agree with you. I would say like Mike McCarthy's definitely on the hot seat for sure. I think – you're probably right. He's going to get fired more than likely by the end of this year. I just think, I'll tell you this, some guys I know who are, I don't know them personally, but I know them. They think the Cowboys are going to have a very bad year. They have a big wager investment on the Eagles to win the division. And I do trust them on that type of stuff. I think they're probably more than likely right. And if that's the case, if they don't win the division, they'd have to probably get to the, like you said, NFC Championship, maybe even to the Super Bowl for him to keep his job. I just don't. You got to show some improvement. So I do agree with Mike McCarthy, but I'll give my own here. Dennis Allen is number one for me. Dennis Allen as a head coach is 24-46, 34% win percentage. How the guy has kept his job this long is beyond.
I forgot he didn't even get. I thought he was going to get fired at the end of last year. I had no idea he still had his job.
And then there was the whole deal where Jameis Winston ran the ball in. Late, and they had famous Jameis.
Didn't they hand it to it was Williams? They handed.
Yeah, so he could get $1 million for his contract bonus. Yeah, and so then he had the whole.
Yeah, that was our decision in the huddle.
Yeah, Arthur Smith lost his mind on Dennis Allen, and poor Dennis Allen didn't even know what was going on. And you know why? Because Dennis Allen never knows what's going on because he's a terrible coach.
Good point.
He's horrible. I don't know how he's kept his job. I don't know how he got his job. I guess he was under. What was he? He was under Sean Payton for a long time, but he was a defensive guy, and Sean's an offensive guy. Yep. So I don't quite understand the transition there. Like he wasn't there when they won a Super Bowl, was he? If he was, he wasn't the defensive coordinator, I don't think, because it was wasn't it the guy got fired for Bountygate? I believe that's the case. I think he was like a defensive line coach or something.
Oh, you're thinking of Greg Williams?
Yeah, wasn't he that DC when they won? Had to have been.
Yeah.
So Dennis Allen's number one. I think legitimately look, I'll say this, if they make the playoffs, but they're 9-8 and it's because this division is terrible and then they lose in the first round, then he won't keep his job anyway. Like making the playoffs won't be enough that way. Now, if they go 10-7 or 11-6 and lose in the first round, then yeah, he'll keep his job. But he's got to show some significant improvement. I mean, they've been a 500 or worse team every year he's been there.
Yep.
I just don't see it changing this year either. All right, number 2 is going to be Matt Eberflus. And Matt Eberflus, Chicago Bears head coach, very borderline got to get fired last year. Now you have all this influx of talent.
Everybody was shocked he kept his job.
Everybody was shocked he kept his job. I mean, the GM was very likely to get fired too. He kept his job. They're kind of all in on this year, and they're banking on a guy who paints his nails, okay, and goes to Japan after getting drafted and refuses to play in the first preseason game, okay? They're relying on that guy.
He refused to do that?
Yes. They're relying on that guy. Now, they have Keenan Allen they brought in, right? They've got
drafted a Dunze.
They got DJ Moore, right? Like, they've got a ton of weapons.
Cole Kmet's a nice guy.
Cole Kmet. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better situation to come into as a quarterback. Maybe a little bit better offensive line.
Good.
Defense is solid. So Eberflus has no excuses. I understand he's a rookie quarterback. We've seen rookie quarterbacks do really well. Look at C.J. Stroud last year. Williams has to be pretty decent this year for them to do well. That's a tough division. That's one of the more tough divisions, especially if the Packers look anything like they did at the end of last year. So I think Eberflus, I'll say they've got to be in contention to make the playoffs the last 2 weeks. And they probably have to finish with a winning record. I think they have to have a winning record. I think they need to be 9-8. I think 8-9 gets them fired. And my last guy, and this might be the guy you're thinking of, is Nick Sirianni. Is that who you're going to talk about?
Nope.
I
thought you were going to say McDermott. You guys always have that
guy.
guy.
Oh, dude, how did I forget? I totally forgot about him.
You've had him on the hot seat for 2 years.
Let me say, I actually think McDermott's more on the hot seat than Sirianni. I don't think Sirianni should be fired, but I don't think he's a good coach. He was the 8th choice to get hired in that position. I don't like him. I think his whole, fake tough guy attitude has rubbed off. Like, it was good when they were winning, and then when you're losing, it doesn't work, right? And you could see him arguing on the sideline with players this year. Jalen Hurts was awful. They lost 5 of their last 6 and then got smacked in a playoff game against a team that had a worse record than them with the Buccaneers. So to me, Sirianni, if they had a catastrophic year, like if they missed the playoffs, he'd get fired. If they lost in the first round again and didn't win the division, then I think he keeps his job for 1 more year, but he's like legit on the hot seat after that. Yeah. But I will go to we can both touch on Doug McDermott. Do you think McDermott gets fired this year?
Sean McDermott.
Sean McDermott. Who's Doug McDermott?
He plays basketball.
That's right.
I do the same thing all the time. Yeah.
I got to be sharp here. What's wrong with me? I'm not sharp.
He's a weird one though, because like you said, I mean, they've underachieved somewhat. They've been good. They just haven't gotten to the big game. And I don't even know if you can say they've been pretty good. But the thing is, losing those 2 receivers, I mean, what is the expectation from ownership and the GM, right? I mean, do they actually think they're contenders again this year? I just think that the window's closing quick in Buffalo, and they need to try to win a championship with, Allen could be good another 10 years, right? But to me, you always talk. That's why I figured you would have had him on.
I just didn't even think about him.
I don't necessarily think he's.
No, I think he is on the hot. I think he is.
The division's good, so if they make the playoffs, I just don't see him going anywhere. He could. It just depends on the relationship with the GM and ownership, and what they're expecting.
I mean, you think about it, it's like I didn't really expect Ken Dorsey to get fired. They had a really good offense for a long time. They had half of a bad season, and they were like later. And
they were much better when they brought in what's his name at the end of the year.
They were much better this year because McDermott just made them run the ball. And here's my thing with that, and nobody talks about this. Yeah, obviously you're going to be better when you just your whole identity has been throw the ball 60% of the time and you flip it on its head and run it, because that's not what teams have game planned for a long time in the whole season. So yeah, the last 7 games they looked better, and then what happened? They got to the playoffs and the offense wasn't good enough, right? Like they couldn't score when they needed to, and then you throw away. I don't see how the offense is better this year. I mean, they lose all your weapons. To me, I think this could end up being catastrophic for him because of the way the division looks. If Miami takes a step forward, in my opinion, they're in big trouble, because if Miami takes a big step forward, I think the Jets are in the playoffs. So now you have 2 playoff teams in your division. You're battling to make like the last wild card spot, really, right? Realistically, I would be surprised if Buffalo won a playoff game this year.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, yeah, if they get to the playoffs, probably he keeps his job. But a lot of people middle of that year when they were struggling, they had to win like their last 5 games to really.
Yeah, they were almost eliminated.
And a lot of people in the middle of the season were calling for McDermott's job, and he basically fired Ken Dorsey to save himself. And so when he fired Ken Dorsey and they looked better, it was like, okay, it wasn't McDermott. But if they do bad, if they have a bad start to the year and we get to the middle of the season and they're 3-5 and we're having the same conversations as last year, Josh Allen can only bail you out so many times. Yeah. And then he missed. And I agree, Allen could be good for 10 years. But you're wasting the prime years of him right now. And I think I would be worried if I was Buffalo, if I'm going to keep McDermott this long, am I risking losing Josh Allen in the future? Because if I'm Josh Allen, why do I stay with this dude? And why do I stay with the team who's getting me no weapons? They trade away my best weapon? Come on.
Yeah.
Like, I understand he's a bad locker room guy, but I mean, you're giving him nothing to work with here.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I like I said earlier, I think they're going to end up third in the division. So maybe they sneak into the playoffs. Probably
7th seed.
Yeah, could be.
All right, last topic here: NFL quarterbacks with the most pressure to perform this season. Give me your number. We'll go back and forth. So give me your top guy. Who do you think? Which quarterback has the most pressure to have a really good season and or win a playoff game? Or make a little run.
I mean, obviously, the most obvious one's Dak Prescott. I mean, he's got to win a playoff game to get, another big contract. Guy's going to be just fine. He's already been paid once. He's got plenty of money. But yeah, playing for a new contract and wants to stay with the Cowboys, I would assume. So we'll see what happens. I know he's got to win at least one playoff game. I agree with you. But then I've touched on it before. I still don't know. If he doesn't win a playoff game, they have to get rid of him.
Because if they go 11
looking at it, like, what are you possibly going to do? Are you that stupid that you're going to go be like, we're going to trade a bunch of picks to get Shedeur Sanders, and that's going to make us what? I mean, you taking first of all, I don't think it'll work out. Secondly, it's a huge risk. The odds of Shedeur Sanders coming in the NFL and being better or more efficient than Dak Prescott is like 0.
It's 0.
So
here's a question. Dak finished like 2nd or 3rd in MVP voting last year.
Yeah.
Say Dak wins the MVP. He has a phenomenal season. They get the number 1 overall seed. And they do what they did in the playoffs this year where they play somebody their first game, which in that case would be the second round, the divisional round. And they lose by 2+ touchdowns in the first game they play. Do they re-sign him at that point?
Yeah.
They do?
If he was the MVP, they would have re-signed him.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Which I think is kind of dumb because it's like, almost
even if what if he has 4 picks in the game and costs them the game? That's what he did in the Packers game.
Yeah, that is true. It might be different, but I just still think that it's like, it's hard to be like, oh, it was just a one. And maybe they make him play out the contract anyway and then re-sign him. They could. Yeah. They definitely could.
I don't know. Interesting to think about. I would say for me, and there's a bunch of guys I could go to, but the top guy for me is Trevor Lawrence, and I've touched on him already. I just
said him next.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, enough's enough at some point, right? Like, you got paid. He got paid, and he's won 1 playoff game ever. It was against a team that you were trailing by, I think, 27 or 28. It was a miracle comeback that took your defense playing perfectly in the second half. He threw 4 interceptions in the first half of that game, right? Like, you lose, right? And 99.999% of the time, you throw 4 interceptions in a playoff game, you lose unless you're Trevor Lawrence or Russell Wilson, right? So he's the only playoff game he's been in, he was terrible. Yeah, he had a good second half. Doesn't matter. You can't throw 4 picks in a playoff game. He's a little bit older now. They went and got Calvin Ridley last year, right? They have Doug Peterson. He's won a Super Bowl. I don't think he's the best coach. We talked about it. He's a Super Bowl champion and author. But in my opinion, at some point you have to say, okay, we need to see some improvement here. We need to see you actually win some big-time games. Every big-time game he plays in, he just looks horrible. I'll give him one thing. He's a tough guy. He played through a lot of injuries. He's not going to be a guy to sit out because he's got a little nicked up knee or whatever. He plays through it. He's a tough dude. I'll give him that. Mm-hmm. But he's just not been an NFL star quarterback like everybody thought. And I will say, I have said it from day one. I heard him in his pre-draft interview, in his post-draft interview, right after getting picked. There's a lot of things that are more important to me than football, right? I'm not saying that I'm not saying it has to be where football is everything, but when you have a guy coming out and openly stating that before he gets in the league, that to me is a little bit of a problem. Yeah. Like, you don't have star quarterbacks. Most people say they come in, I want to win a Super Bowl. I want to do this. Not, I like other things. Like, okay, well, he's playing golf now, right? Like, let's focus on football, buddy.
And it's like Sauce Gardner playing golf all the time now. It's like, man, I want my quarterbacks playing golf all the time.
No.
Get out on the field and work. So we'll see how good. I'm sure it won't affect him, but I just thought it was funny. I was like, man, I want this guy in the gym, not playing golf every day.
It's the last thing
he's
I want.
out there every day. My last one that I'll do is Danny Dimes, make or break season. This is it. And it's last season. There's no, maybe this and that. I think this is it. I know that his contract is for another few years, right? They signed him for a long time. So.
Yeah,
but this is the make or break year for old Dimes.
Yeah, he's got to have a good year.
Yep.
And they went and got Neighbors, didn't they?
They got Neighbors, but they lost. What's the crazy tight end? They lost Waller. He retired.
Yeah, I mean he wasn't
good last year.
Yeah, but looking at it, he was one of their better weapons, and he just never showed up. Man, that's crazy. That guy came out of nowhere, became a star, got paid, and then retired. Yep. And I didn't know all the Kelsey Plum and the alcoholism and all. I didn't know all that stuff till just recently. But yeah, he's got a lot of things going on. But I would agree with that. My last guy I'll say is Jordan Love. And this is kind of different than the other guys where it's like, okay, it's time to prove it because they've been in the league a while. For me, Jordan Love, it's just, okay, you went and held out and you asked for this massive contract and you got it. You got paid $55 million a year, most annually by any quarterback. And you only performed well for half of a season. And you had the audacity to go out and demand this contract and sit out until you got it with a year left on your rookie deal. To me, you have to show up this year in a big way. Maybe not as good as he was the last 8 games, because he was really, really good. 18 touchdowns, 1 pick the final 8 games of the regular season. But he's got to be like top 10 level. He needs to be really, really probably top 5, top 8, top 5. Like he's got to be playing.
To prove he was worth the...
Right. Well, just to be like, okay, we made the right move, right? Like, or just to be like, okay, I understand why he held out. He deserved it. But if you come out and you stink, and y'all missed the playoffs, and you did that, it's going to be a bad look on him. And I'll tell you what, a lot of the questions in the offseason next year are going to be like, did the Packers make a big mistake here?
Yeah.
And so that's why I think he's got pressure on him to perform, different than the other guys, who the other 3 guys are probably like, okay, they've had pressure because they've been in here and not accomplished enough, but they've all shown that they're, with the exception of maybe Danny Dimes, the other 2 are guys who are like, Pro Bowl level players, right? Lawrence, borderline, Dak, definitely. And now you have a guy who is like never made a Pro Bowl, never an All-Pro, played half of a season good. And it's like, you got to show up. It's time to show up. Time to
agreed
to win.
Prove you.
All right,
you're worth the money.
Well, that'll about wrap it up for this week, I think.
Yep.
And so we've got some fun football previews coming out. We're going to do the 4 Power 5 or Power 4. Changed, not Power 5 anymore.
Yep.
Power 4 conference previews. We're going to break down all the best teams, top 10 teams or so from each major conference. That'll be coming out over the course of the next month. We'll do some NFL previews for each division as well. And we are starting a new show coming up with a Pick'em show and a San Antonio local sports show that we're going to have. So a lot of new stuff coming your way. Make sure to like and subscribe. Please, that helps. We got a couple of subscribers extra this week, but we have not been getting a lot of comments on our podcast episodes. We're getting them on the clips. But if you will please comment on the video. I guess I could do another jersey giveaway soon. I'll do it on the next episode. If you comment, I'll do it on this one. If you comment on this episode, I'll go ahead and give away a free jersey. But thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next week as the Olympics will wrap up, and we'll talk more NFL and off-season and see who wins the gold medal in men's basketball. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week.